Hello everyone. Today we are going to understand a concept of hamster wheel or a rabbit hole using a financial data example. Alright. So what is a hamster wheel? Hamster wheel looks like this, or a rabbit hole looks like this, right? So here is the hamster, or you can say a rat, right? And here is the big hole and then rabbit. What is a hamster wheel? What is a rabbit hole? We'll understand when we understand this data, right? Now, let's say you're planning to purchase a house in Canada in 2022, right? So at that time, the price of a normal house for freehold townhouse. There are multiple varieties of variances of houses in Canada, but let's say we can example of a single family home that's freehold townhouse or any semi-detached or something like that. The normal rate of that house used to be 800k, right? So when I say 800k, k is 1000, so three more zeros, so it's $8 lakh. Now let's say you do a 10% down and take an interest rate of 1.5% variable. I'm talking about 2022, which was the golden period at that time. The variable rate of interest was 1.5%. That's an amazing time to say, right? Now it's no longer there, and that kind of situation will never come. Now, with this 1.5% variable, whatever is the down payment, whatever is the rate of interest you choose, you have to pay one thing that is called CMHC insurance, right? If you're paying anything less than 20%. So CMHC insurance is the government protecting the lender if the borrower defaults, right? So you are the borrower, right? So government is protecting the lender, the bank, who is lending you the money if you default, right? So that insurance is what government takes, and it's one-time money, you will never get it back. The next is the taxes. The taxes includes land transfer tax, title insurance, lawyer fees, inspection, many other components that sums up to around 12,000 if you are buying any house in Toronto, Ontario area, right? Now next comes, this is also one-time payment, you are not going to get it back. Now the expenses, once you enter into the house, you will have to pay the property tax, you will have to pay gas, hydro, water to different companies, whoever are the service providers. You will have to pay your home insurance, maintenance, and the transit. The reason I've included transit is if you are outside of the TTC network, right, the transit system is very bad. So you'll have to pay a lot of money if you are daily commuting to the office now, if you are working any kind of in-office work, right? So that is roughly around $1,500 a month, which sums up to around 18,000 a year. Now, let's say you want to, as soon as you enter the house, you want to sell it. So the moment you enter, the day one you enter into the house, and if you want to sell it, you will have to pay the realtor fees, which is like 4.5% plus HST of the sale price. So let's say you think that, okay, I entered into the house today, and if you want to sell it tomorrow, you need to add up this amount, which is 4.5% of this. Let's say you want to sell it at the same price that you bought, 800k, it will be like 35,000. The next day your house cost is like 835k, right? Then because you're breaking the locking period of the interest that you have taken from the bank will charge you the penalty, and then lawyer fees, you'll have to give the lawyer fees. So bank charge penalty is usually for variable rate, it's 3%, 3 months interest, which is roughly around 8,500. And lawyer fees, here also you are going to pay the lawyer fees, and here again 1,500. So buying and selling, you are spending money on that. So this is the one-time expenses that you are incurring when you enter into the house. Now let's say you enter into the year 2025, a 3 years long period, right? Now the house, whatever house that we have taken into consideration has reduced, the price of that house has reduced by 100k, and it is like 700k. The reason is the bad policy, whatever you can call it. So from 1.5% somewhere around in 2022, it went up to 7%, and then it started reducing to 4.5%. I have taken just the variable rate of interest to keep it simple, not the fixed rate, not the prime rate of interest, but I have just taken that as an example. Now with 4.5%, even if I calculate at 4.5%, not at different rate of interest, 7% and all, If you calculate the annual interest that you pay to the bank at 4.5 interest percent, you will pay roughly around 47,000 a year. So from 22 to 2025, you have spent 3 years, and then the amount that you have paid to the bank already is 140k, right? Now, next is the appreciation of the house. Let's say you consider the appreciation of the house is 2%. Ideally, you should be considering 5 or 10%. You would think that okay, my house will grow by at 8 to 10% a year, but that is not the reality. The house appreciation is just 2%, right? So even if you take that marginal value 2%, an annual appreciation is like 16,000. In 3 years, it will be like 48,000. And the expenses that you are incurring 18,000 a year, in 3 years it will be 54,000. These are the expenses that you are putting into the house without considering any benefit out of the house, considering, like most of us consider house as an asset. Now when you start summing those up, you have the house price is 800k, 35k is the initial taxes and the insurance amount that you pay. 45,000 is the realtor fees and bank penalty and the lawyer fees. At any point that you are selling the house, within that locking period, you will have to pay that 45,000. Annual interest, if you are selling the house after 3 years, that is 140k. The house appreciation that you should expect from the house after doing all these transactions and all, right? And that is 48,000, and the expenses that you have incurred in the house is like 54,000. If you sum all this up, you will find you will be looking at the value 1.12 million in 3 years. So buying a house in 800k, you'll be dreaming about getting 1.12 million minimum for an amount just 48,000. That is the appreciation amount. Rest everything is the expense that you have put into the house, right? Now looking at the house price in 2025, it's like 700k. If you see the difference, you are standing at a debt of 400k. 400k is the debt amount. Like here, this is the amount that you are getting today. You should be getting 1.12 million. This is the debt. Here you enter into the hamster wheel, and you become a rat. You start running into the hamster wheel, thinking of when and how you can get out. You are already into that wheel for 3 years, and then you will continue that you will continue on that hamster wheel, or you enter into a rabbit hole, doesn't know where does it end. Hope this data is helpful to explain you the concept. I'll come with more such concepts and data in future. Thank you.